Hello, welcome to How NIR Can Make You Money. I'm Elise Schaefer, editor of Feed and Grain magazine and today's moderator. With me is our presenter, Shannon Conrad from Bruker Optics. Shannon has been with Bruker for about 9 months and has more than 20 years of experience in agriculture, spending that time between manufacturing and sales, specializing in animal nutrition. Today's webinar will run about 25 minutes, followed by a Q&A session. Please feel free to submit your questions via the Q&A window throughout this webinar. You can find that by mousing over the bottom of your screen, and the Q&A window will pop up. That's where you'll put your questions. And at the end of this presentation, I'll ask Shannon to answer them. So now I'll turn things over to our speaker.
Thank you, Elise, for the nice introduction. So, welcome to How NIR Can Make You Money. I hope you find our time together educational and also a little entertaining. It's all about the money. Companies must be profitable to succeed. Companies must learn to optimize and adjust with changing technologies. Most webinars on NIR talk about a specific technology. Today, I want to discuss common practices and how data generated by NIR can make you money. We will quickly cover how NIR works and a bit on the different technologies available in the market. We will cover in detail specific NIR use in agriculture and feed manufacturing, generating income and savings from NIR, and also NIR use in feed quality systems. So why use NIR to begin with? First, it is fast. It takes 20 to 60 seconds to run a sample. It is accurate, and I'll talk more about that in detail later. It gives you real-time information. It is easy to run. Anyone can do it. And it is inexpensive. Also, in one quick analysis, you can get multiple results. Remember when I said anyone can do it? Here's a video to show just how easy it is to run a sample. This video is of a benchtop called a tango. The first step is placing the sample onto the instrument. Second, selecting the product by the touchscreen icon. Third, starting the measurement by selecting the play icon. Fourth, waiting for a minute, like I said, 20 to 60 seconds. Fifth, the results are displayed, and you can see on the screen multiple constituents for the one sample analyzed. And there you go. You're ready for the next analysis. Just like that. It really is that easy. A lot of people think NIR is this mysterious, magical box. But in reality, you have to teach it what you want it to know. First, spectra is collected and matched with corresponding wet chemistry. From here, data is correlated and a calibration is created. Once an unknown sample is presented and a spectra collected, the NIR compares to the calibration and then predicts the new result. The most common question I get is, how accurate is this thing anyway? The answer is, it is only as accurate as the wet chemistry it's based on. If you put good data in, you get good data out. If you put bad data in, you get bad data out. One of the key factors is your wet chemistry error. In wet chemistry, if a sample is run 10 different times, you will get 10 different results. Likewise, if you take the same sample and have 10 different technicians run it, you will also get 10 different results. This variation is known as repeatability and reproducibility. The sum of the repeatability and reproducibility variation equals your wet chemistry error. The NIR can never be more accurate than your wet chemistry error. Consideration of which lab to use is critical in calibration development. The graph presented is real-life data from 3 labs we compared. Lab C is clearly the most accurate for this data set and should be used as the reference lab. Here's a quick rundown on two different types of NIR technology commonly used in the feed industry today: dispersive technology versus FT technology. Listed are key features for each. Dispersive has been around for more than 40 years, while FT is newer to the market. To collect spectra, a dispersive instrument uses a scanning method, while FT collects data every 2 wavelengths and then applies a mathematical adjustment. FT instruments typically last 10 years versus the traditional 7 years of a dispersive instrument. Each instrument on the market has a unique wavelength span. One type of dispersive instrument regularly used in agriculture is called a diode array. It has a limited wavelength region, as you can see from the red line in the graph. These instruments are good at predicting certain parameters. However, some key constituents, like protein or amino acids, are best seen in the third overtone region, which these instruments omit. So for these instruments, calibration accuracy can be affected as only limited data is collected. The newer FT technology provides 2 key advantages into the feed market. First, calibration transfer. One calibration can be used on multiple instruments, including benchtop and process instruments. For example, we recently had a company buy 9 of these Tango benchtop instruments. We lined them up on a desktop and ran the same sample on each of the 9. Out of the box, these samples ran within 0.04 of each other. No adjustments were needed to set up these instruments, and they were immediately put into production. The second key advantage is that with FT instruments, there is no drift over time. This means a spectra collected today will look the same as it would in 10 years. So, if there is a shift, we can conclude with FT technology that the shift is due to our process or product, not to our instrument drift. Also, due to a lack of drift, no bias or skews or any other regular adjustments are needed to keep the instrument accurate. This is key because without all the frequent adjustments, your NIR program does not require additional manpower to maintain. In the marketplace, traditionally, NIR calibrations come in one of 3 ways. Instruments can come pre-calibrated, or you can self-develop calibrations, or you can utilize a partner database. Pre-calibrated analyzers come with robust calibrations already installed. They're available in ingredients and finished feed. Listed here are examples of some of the ingredients available. Constituents vary depending upon the calibration. For example, in the poultry industry, calcium and phosphorus are critical for eggshell and bone growth. These can also be predicted via NIR in addition to traditional proximates, like protein, moisture, fat, fiber, or ash. Self-developed calibrations are widely used in the industry for unique applications. Again, a spectra is collected, matched to wet chemistry, a calibration method is developed, and then the calibration method is validated. Unique, highly technical calibrations such as amino acids, trypsin inhibitor, and enzyme activity are also available through partner databases. To give you an idea of how widely NIR is used, Bruker has over 1,200 NIR instruments worldwide in more than 75 countries, just in the agriculture markets alone. So now that we've gone through a quick review on NIR, we are at the heart of this webinar. Let's discuss how to make money using NIR. During this presentation, I challenge you to ask yourself questions about your unique manufacturing environment. Where are we losing money? What are our main manufacturing problems? How can we become more efficient? How can NIR help? Where does NIR fit into our FSMA program? Listed are a few common applications: analyzing proximate values, as I've mentioned before, controlling iodine value and free fatty acid in oils to prevent soft bellies in pork or rancidity of fats, measuring amino acids of ingredients for poultry formulation, fermentation monitoring in corn and whiskey, Brix and polarity monitoring during sugar and molasses manufacturing, controlling moisture levels in dehydrating plants. Many unique applications also exist. These are usually self-developed calibrations. Applications such as flavorings or palatants or glycerin, calibrations to control color in alfalfa meal or soybean meal, calibrations to control pelletability and how well a product will run through a pellet mill. We also use NIR to determine the age of fish with the DNR. Calibrations for determining contamination can also be developed using conformity models. Developing a fingerprint on all vitamin and mineral premixes. Many calibrations have been made to help manufacturing processes. There are some limitations. However, you don't know if it will work until you try. So let's discuss more in depth your income opportunities and your quality assurance system. The easiest way to justify the cost of NIR is through replacing your wet chemistry budget. The cost of wet chemistry can be more than $100 per sample depending on what analysis is needed. The cost of FT-NIR is approximately 1 to 5 cents depending on the amount of samples run. FT-NIR can save you thousands annually.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
The truth. Many ingredients are purchased with guarantees. How do you know you received what you purchased? Protein is the most expensive proximate. Moisture control is critical for quality. Starting a claims program can generate substantial income as well as assure you get what you purchased. Let's look at an example. Here is a rail car of soybean meal purchased at 47.5% protein, but analyzes at 46. At 90 tons, this rail car produces a claim of $810. So as a supplier, how much could you save without paying out claims? When you know what you get, you have purchasing power. You can purchase the best product for the best price when purchasing off supplier values generated by NIR. Let's walk through some case studies. Here is an example of a truckload of feather meal. Supplier A has been running around 85% protein, guarantees 82, and costs a premium of $230 a ton. Supplier B has been running right around typical guarantee at 79.5. That truck only costs $220 a ton. So who do you buy? Going through the calculation, we find supplier A provides an additional $660 of value due to higher protein. When compared to the cost of the load, we still find it more profitable to purchase load A, even though it was at a premium. Let's evaluate another case study. Dried distiller's grain is a highly variable ingredient. Typical protein is around 26 to 28%. In this case study, your purchaser found a discounted load. But is it really a discount after all? In this example, supplier A has a protein of 22 and only costs $110 a ton. Supplier B has a protein of 33% and costs the traditional $150 a ton. So who do you buy? Supplier A loses $440, but supplier B gains almost $700 for the load. So the total value for supplier A is $1,980, and supplier B's value is around $2,600 when adjusted for the premium paid. This spread is $620 on just this one load. And this analysis is just for protein. If we think further on this, we also have to ask ourselves, what is the impact on lysine or other amino acids that are directly correlated to protein? What if you trade and use ingredients both? Let's look at case study C. This is our DDG example again. If you are exporting, the standard is 34% combined protein and fat. What is the value of knowing your analytics? Can you charge a premium with a certification of analysis? How many claims can you prevent by knowing what you are selling?
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Ingredient variation is real. Ingredient variation is a reality of naturally occurring products. Ingredients can vary based on many external factors, including weather, planting conditions, seed variations, and many other factors. This graph shows a real-life example of 3 different bins of soybean meal over a 20-day period. As you can see, each day there is quite a bit of difference, as well as a huge shift from the average. Now, formulation is at the heart of all feed manufacturing. There are 4 traditional methods for formulation: standard book values, supplier averages, weekly averages, or daily results. During formulation, you have to account for the variation of the ingredients if you want to meet finished product guarantees. If formulating with mean values, you will only meet guarantee 50% of the time. Thus, overages must be added in to assure finished product quality. So, if you formulate at mean plus 1 standard deviation, you will meet guarantee 68% of the time. Mean plus 2 is 95% of the time. Mean plus 3, 99. But the problem is, overages cost money. So how do you decrease the standard deviation? You decrease time. So the question becomes, how often can you change formulas to capture the variation and reduce overages required to meet guarantee? Fixed values in, mean variability coming out. Knowing values and leveling variation will produce a consistent product coming out. So let's discuss the difference between least cost formulating and constant nutrition formulating. Least cost formulation uses the cost of ingredient to put the cheapest ingredient into the formula that is allowed by the restriction. Constant nutrition formulation uses NIR adjusted ingredient profiles to create a consistent finished feed. With increased accuracy, you do not need additional overages, thus saving hundreds of thousands of dollars and ultimately increasing animal performance. Also, do you want to formulate for what's going into the animal or what has come out? This is where NIR shines. Wet chemistry formulation occurs well after the animal has eaten the product. NIR formulation gives you live data for better, more accurate formulation.
Hey, we've got a problem here.
What did you do?
Nothing. I stirred the tanks.
Whoa. Hey.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
So what do we do when we do have a problem? What do we do with off-spec material? Do we sell it for a discount? Do we blend it back in? Do we ship it anyway? What are the ramifications of each? What if you could formulate it back in because you know the nutritional values? The answer is FT-NIR. So let's now focus on your quality assurance system. What is quality anyway? Is it the best? No, not actually. Quality equals consistency. McDonald's sells billions of burgers every year. Are they the best? No, but they are the same at every location. People buy them because they are consistent for the price they pay. They know what they will get for the money spent. Now, do you want to pay $10 for that burger? No. You expect a different level of consistency when paying $10 versus $3 for a burger. Your customer also expects the same. Customer A is only willing to spend $10 a bag of feed, whereas customer B might be willing to spend $28 a bag. Regardless of what they will pay, they want it the same every time from bag to bag. So what do we gain with consistency through NIR analysis? A great preventative control for your supplier verification program for VISMA, less off-specification loads, less claims, less production downtime or rework, increased brand awareness and acceptance, increased sales, and ultimately, happy customers. What about finished feeds? On a horse, we might have increased energy output. For cattle, increased average daily gain. Broilers, increased weight gain. Layers, the quality of our eggs might be better and less loss. Dairy, more milk. Swine, better feed utilization. And again, you get brand awareness and happy customers. Common loadout procedures include collecting retainer samples. What if these were run on NIR prior to shipment to assure the load meets guarantee? Is this a good preventative control for your FSMA program? Conformity calibrations can be made to determine if there is a contaminant present. This is a more technical use of NIR, but a very important one. Unknown spectral data is compared to a standard. If it falls outside that standard, it fails. If it falls within the standard, it passes and can be released for shipment.
You want to play rough? Okay. No. Say hello to my little friend.
Huge advances have been made in the NIR industry. Not only are benchtop instruments available, but also process instruments are widely used. They can be inserted into your manufacturing system and give regular readings to help you control making a consistent product.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
The biggest advantage of NIR is getting data now. With data now, you can make accurate and immediate decisions. You can generate income through supplier programs. You can make manufacturing decisions. You can make purchasing decisions. You can increase your formulation accuracy. And also, you can confirm that your products meet quality standards. All these things we discussed have a direct impact on your company and also on your consumer. Not only do I have 20 years of experience in manufacturing and sales, I personally am also a consumer. I race endurance horses as a hobby, and these techniques directly impact my horse's performance and ultimately which brand I select. I appreciate you tuning in and listening to this presentation about NIR and how it can earn your company money. At this time, we'd like to open the webinar to questions and answers.
Yes, thank you, Shannon, for that engaging presentation. I know I learned a lot about how companies can save money with NIR, and I hope you did too. So we did have some questions come in during the webinar. So Shannon, I'll start with, tell me a little more about the process instruments. How do they work?
The process instruments are actually inserted into your manufacturing system. In most feed applications, you can use different probes that will go into the conveyors and give you constant readings. They can be set up for whatever unique parameters you might need, like moisture control or fat control if you're making a high-fat product. But you can get an actual real-time reading right then and there as you're manufacturing. So your operators know, or your system knows, if it needs to add more fat or decrease fat, or maybe decrease moisture further. So it really is a nice way to move analysis upstream so that you can get a better analysis, you can get a better reading of what your manufacturing system is doing.
Okay, thank you, very helpful. Can benchtop NIR placed out of the plant, for example, at grain receiving?
Yes, the benchtops are not instruments that are just meant to be set up in a lab. They are mobile units. They can be put out at a grain receiving facility area. They can be at loadout, where your trucks can be probed going out of the feed facility. So they can go anywhere in the plant.
Okay, that's very helpful to know for many companies who do like to do that, have that quick analysis right there at the grain receiving point. All right, we'll move on to the next question. Do dry samples have to be ground?
Certainly grinding your samples gets you a higher level of accuracy on NIR analysis. However, we do have calibrations for whole ingredients and ground ingredients. So I have multiple facilities that use the whole calibrations, maybe at ingredient receiving, but then grind the samples to get a better, more accurate reading for formulation. This can be used as an immediate, easy tool for your unloading operator to know if your products meet the standards. You know, and maybe if they're questionable, then they will grind and then take a new result in order to be able to determine if that truck can be unloaded. But certainly grinding does increase your level of accuracy. But it just depends on your application and what your need is.
Okay, thank you. Now, this next question is right on topic for this webinar. What is the annual cost of maintenance NIR?
The benchtop units typically come with a light source and a desiccant, which is used to control moisture. The light sources last around about a year, maybe a little bit more, and they cost around $480. The desiccant actually can be reused. You just take the pellets out of the inside and bake them in the oven to eliminate the moisture, put them back in, and then you're ready to go again. Both of those regular maintenance items can be done by anyone. There's an easy access in the back of the instrument where nobody has to open the instrument or a service technician come out. This is something that anybody can do.
Okay, that sounds very helpful. I have one more question that came in the webinar. So if anyone has any more, please feel free to enter those now before we wrap things up. Last question for you, Shannon. Can an NIR solid samples?
What was that question? I'm sorry, Elise.
Can an NIR do both liquid and solid samples?
Yes, there are different types of NIRs in different units. The benchtop that we saw, the Tango, does traditionally solid samples, but also can do fats and oils in transflection. There's another instrument that does both liquids and solids. The liquids are used in a different compartment, but yes, these NIRs are made to do both liquids and solids. So we can do molasses, we can do oils, we can do high fat, or we can do choice white grease, animal fats, poultry fats, all kinds of different things, as well as the traditional solid samples or loose samples that are within a plant.
Well, it sounds very flexible, and you've provided many examples for how NIR can save money. I just want to thank you so much, Shannon, for your presentation. If anyone else has questions that they wanted to discuss further with Shannon, her contact information is on the screen right now. Feel free to call or email her. All of you participants will be getting an email with a link to the video of this presentation, as well as Bruker and Feed and Grain will both post these on our website in a few days. So you'll be able to watch it again or share it with your colleagues. So thank you for your participation and have a great day.
Thank you.